He was merely my uncle. Until that fateful night altered everything, a genuine tale of betrayal. Ava is my name, and I am 22 years of age. One might find themselves curious about how a girl of my age comes to reside with her uncle, particularly in light of the story I am about to unfold. To be truthful, I never envisioned that this would come to pass either. I am immersed in the world of graphic design, dedicating my days to drawing, crafting designs, and engaging in freelance projects. Ever since my parents' divorce in my youth, life has presented its fair share of challenges. I traversed various places, seeking a sense of permanence. In the end, I found myself residing with my Uncle Nathan. It was never intended to unfold this way. Be sure to subscribe to my channel, allowing me to share even more captivating, true stories such as this one. Be sure to watch this video all the way through, and remember to give it a like, as the unfolding story promises to be truly captivating. Kindly tap the like button to express your support. The journey began when my mother had to leave for work, and I found myself in need of a place to stay as I completed my college studies. Nathan, my uncle, stood as the sole beacon of support within our family. He has shared his life with his wife Victoria for several years now. In the serene embrace of the countryside, they reside within a stunning house, a world away from the bustling city. I envisioned it as merely a fleeting relocation to a serene spot, yet reality unfolded in ways I had not anticipated. Several months passed, and I believed I had settled into the house, embraced the routine, and found solace in the tranquility, or so I presumed. Yet today, an event unfolded, one that compels me to share. The moment I stepped into Nathan's room, he lay there in peaceful slumber. Before I delve into the details, be sure to subscribe to the channel to keep yourself informed about the unfolding narrative. Allow me to share a glimpse into the life of Nathan. He stands apart from the typical uncles. In my eyes, he has consistently embodied the role of a mentor rather than that of a mere family member. In my formative years, he guided me through the art of riding a bike, imparted skills for repairing household items, and celebrated my coming of age by gifting me my first car at 18. Thus, when my mother found herself in need of someone to welcome me, Nathan emerged as the clear and fitting option. He possesses a deep sense of thoughtfulness, an abundance of patience, and a remarkable kindness. Yet, it wasn't solely him with whom I was taking this step. Victoria, his wife, had been a part of the scene for some time now. 2 years have passed since their marriage, and initially, I had my reservations about her. She was older than Nathan, and there was something about her that cast me as an outsider in their home. At first, I took refuge in the guest room located at the far end of the house, making a conscious effort to remain unobtrusive. As time passed, the initial awkwardness faded, and Victoria began to share her wisdom on cooking, cleaning, and the intricacies of managing a household. We may not have been best friends, yet the atmosphere had shifted from the tension that once lingered between us. I had the impression that circumstances were improving. However, of late, I've observed something that eludes explanation. As the moments unfolded in Nathan's presence, an undeniable pull toward him began to weave itself into the fabric of my thoughts. His smiles, the fleeting brush of his hand, and the way his gaze lingered on me when he believed I was lost in thought. It was a sensation unlike any other, impossible to overlook. A palpable tension emerged between us, generating an energy that felt inescapable. I can sense your thoughts, Ava. What do you mean by that? He is your uncle. It seems utterly absurd. This bond we share is simply irrefutable. I attempted to dismiss it, convincing myself that it was merely a figment of my imagination. Yet, in those moments of solitude, the air crackled with an undeniable energy, as if an invisible force was drawing us closer. Here is where the intrigue begins. One evening, after the last bite of dinner had faded, I found myself immersed in a project within the confines of my room when the sound of footsteps echoed softly in the hallway. Nathan had succumbed to a deep slumber for hours, while Victoria was out enjoying the company of friends, leaving us in solitude. Initially, I paid little attention to it, but soon I heard the soft creak of the door to his bedroom opening. I paused for a moment, caught in a dilemma between allowing him to find solace in his rest or stepping inside. Yet, an unseen force drew me to him softly. I gently pushed the door open, making an effort to avoid interrupting him. He reclined on his back, one arm casually tucked behind his head, exuding an air of tranquility. In slumber, the gentle glow from the window draped soft shadows across his features, rendering him nearly ethereal. I lingered in that moment, my heart pounding fiercely. A warm rush spread across my cheeks as my heart raced with anticipation. I had never experienced such emotions before. Perhaps I simply desired to gaze upon him, or perhaps it was something deeper. I was unaware. My reverie was shattered when I inadvertently toppled a vase beside his bed. The noise roused Nathan from his slumber, his eyes fluttering open, and for an ephemeral instant, our gazes intertwined. In his eyes, confusion lingered, yet there was an undercurrent of something more. An elusive notion that danced just beyond my grasp. He blinked several times, attempting to concentrate on me, then released a sleepy chuckle. "Ava, what brings you to this place?" he inquired, his voice heavy with slumber. My heart raced, a tempest within, as I grappled with the elusive words that danced just beyond my grasp. I found myself in a predicament, torn between the desire to remain inconspicuous and the challenge of articulating my intentions. My mouth felt parched. "I didn't mean to wake you," I stammered, a flush of embarrassment creeping over me. Nathan stirred awake, his hands moving to massage the sleep from his eyes. He offered me that familiar, gentle smile, the one filled with kindness and patience that he always wore. Yet today, a peculiar spark flickered in his eyes, igniting a flutter in my heart. He regarded me intently for a brief moment before he spoke once more. "It's all right," he said softly. "Feel free to share anything with me at any time. Ava, I stand by your side." I nodded, yet my thoughts whirled in a chaotic dance. This unfamiliar sensation left me at a loss for how to respond. The atmosphere in the room was thick, and I sensed my breath quickening. "I simply wished to engage in conversation," I murmured. Nathan's smile dimmed slightly, and for a fleeting moment, I caught a glimpse of uncertainty in his eyes before it disappeared entirely. He beckoned to the space beside him on the bed. "Approach me. You can always talk to me," he said, his voice imbued with warmth. I lingered for a heartbeat, caught in uncertainty, yet an inner force compelled me onward, instinctively, without a second thought. I took my seat beside him. The air crackled with tension, more palpable than it had ever been. The warmth of his body pressed against mine enveloped me, while the scent of his cologne lingered in the atmosphere. Our proximity was such that I could hear the rhythm of his breath and sense the gentle rise and fall of his chest. With every inhalation, my heart quickened once more, and gradually, as if time had slowed, I lifted my gaze to meet his. Our faces hovered near, the warmth of his presence enveloping me. His gaze held a softness, a hint of uncertainty, yet beneath it all flickered a spark that sent a shiver across my skin. "Ava, are you all right?" Nathan inquired softly. In the past, I was able to respond. I drew nearer to him. My heart raced, and my breath hitched in my throat. An unexplainable sensation enveloped me, a palpable intensity that seemed to electrify the very air around us. Nathan remained close, his gaze locking onto mine with a profound intensity. Silence enveloped us, yet his breath grew rapid, echoing the rhythm of my own. The atmosphere grew more intimate, the quietude enveloping us thickened with the weight of unexpressed thoughts. My thoughts swirled in a chaotic dance. All paths converged to this instant. I found myself unable to hold back. Gingerly, I inched closer, my lips quivering as though I were lost in a reverie. They grazed his, initially hesitant and unsure, yet as his lips found mine, tender and delicate, I lost all restraint. My mind cried out for me to halt, yet my body remained unyielding. This was essential for me, this was my desire. Nathan's hand gently cradled my cheek, drawing me nearer. His other hand lingered near us, brushing against my skin. The warmth of his touch enveloped me, the kiss intensified, and soon the boundary between his lips and mine blurred into a singular sensation. All else faded into oblivion. It was merely the two of us, ensnared in this inescapable bond. My thoughts surged with a whirlwind of confusion and guilt, yet intertwined within them was an unexpected sense of clarity. What were we engaged in? What made it seem so essential? Words failed to capture it, and logic offered no clarity. He drew back for a brief instant, his forehead gently pressed against mine. Our breaths came in heavy, unsteady waves, each inhalation a deliberate struggle. His pulse throbbed against my skin, synchronizing with the frantic rhythm of my own heart. Ava. His voice carried a gentle quality, tinged with an underlying tension. Though we ought not to, uncertainty lingered within me. Indeed, I consented. An inner force within me steadfastly denied any justification for halting my progress. With deliberate grace, I extended my hand, weaving my fingers through his. He remained close, his fingers entwined with mine, gripping me as firmly as I clung to him. Our gazes locked, and for an extended pause, silence enveloped us. The burden of it all lingered in the space between us. Ought we to consider this? Is it possible for us to? My hand instinctively found its way to the nape of his neck, drawing him nearer. I pressed my lips to his once more, this time. There was an absence of hesitation, an absence of fear, only an all-consuming desire to remain near him, to bask in the warmth of his presence. Nathan's hand glided down my back, pulling me nearer. The connection between our bodies rendered every sensation profoundly heightened. Uncertain of the destination, I found myself untroubled by the ambiguity. I longed to remain in this instance where solely we two were present. My heart raced within me as his lips glided to my neck, bestowing gentle kisses upon my skin. His breath brushed against my ear, igniting a shiver that danced down my spine. It was a sensation beyond anything I had ever experienced. Intimate, all-consuming, and profoundly misguided, yet exhilarating in a manner I couldn't quite articulate. Are you certain about this? He whispered against my skin, his voice heavy with longing. My intention is not to cause you pain. With my eyes shut tight, I sought to uncover my voice. Every fiber of my being cried out for me to halt, to retreat, yet I remained unable to do so. The yearning was overwhelming, the desire insatiable. Desire for thoughtlessness enveloped me, a reluctance to probe further into the depths of inquiry. I simply longed to be by his side, I was certain, I murmured. My hands glided over his chest, savoring the warmth of his skin beneath my fingertips. I desire this, Nathan, I desire you. His lips met mine once more, and this time the kiss was profound, charged with an undeniable urgency. The point of no return had been reached. The world beyond these walls held no significance. It was solely the way he ignited within me a sense of desire, a feeling of being needed, and a vibrant aliveness that I had never known before. The walls of the room appeared to constrict, enveloping us in their embrace. The light faded, deepening the bond we shared. Each caress, each kiss resonated with the unspoken assurance of deeper connections yet to unfold. There exists a mystery that eludes our complete comprehension, yet we stand poised to embark on a journey of discovery together. His heartbeat resonated with mine, a steady pulse that harmonized with the rhythm of my own. Though a fragment of my being resisted the truth of the unfolding events, a far greater portion yielded entirely. It transcended mere kissing, it had evolved into something far deeper. It was a connection that eluded explanation, a bond transcending the limitations of language. I've desired this for an eternity, Nathan murmured, his breath a gentle warmth brushing against my lips. I struggled to grasp his words while my hands explored his form, tracing the contours of his muscles beneath his skin, sensing his warmth, and noting how he reacted to my touch. Yet, there was no retreat at this point, only the magnetic force between us, compelling us nearer in a manner neither of us had anticipated. Time appeared to freeze as we became enveloped in one another, caught in the gentle cadence of our kisses, the soothing warmth of our caresses. For the first time, everything seemed to fall into place. In the quiet of the room, we transcended our roles as uncle and niece, becoming two souls intertwined by a connection more profound, more fervent than anything I had ever experienced. The atmosphere surrounding Nathan and me was laden with unspoken words, a palpable tension that kept us both frozen in place, silent and still. In an instant, the stillness was broken by the creaking of the front door swinging open below. We stood still. My heart raced as I swiftly distanced myself from Nathan, a wave of panic surging through my chest. What had just transpired between us? What was unfolding between us? The guilt enveloped me, yet it intertwined with an undercurrent of something more profound. Yearning enveloped me, a sensation I could not dismiss, as I found myself caught between the fleeting intimacy we had just experienced and the undeniable truth that we were ensnared in something deeper. We found ourselves unable to reverse the moment. Nathan remained still, his gaze fixed on me, yet his expression was a mystery. The warmth radiated between us, a palpable intimacy that still hung in the air, refusing to fade away. "Ava," he murmured, his voice taut before he could utter another word. The rhythmic sound of footsteps reverberated as they ascended the stairs. Nathan heard a voice that struck a familiar chord within me. My heart plummeted. It was Victoria. I sprang from the bed, my breath coming in quick, shallow gasps. Uncertainty enveloped me, leaving me at a loss for direction. Thoughts spiraled chaotically within me, yet I found myself at a loss for an escape from this predicament. Could I truly confront her after everything that had just transpired? The door to Nathan's room slowly creaked open, revealing Victoria in the doorway, her expression a canvas of surprise. Her gaze darted between Nathan and me, a look of bewilderment washing over her face as she absorbed the unfolding tableau. "Ava and Nathan. What is happening in this moment?" she inquired, her voice wavering, yet beneath it lay an instinct, perhaps, that whispered to her that something was amiss. A wave of pallor washed over me, leaving my face devoid of color. Victoria's presence struck like a splash of icy water, and in that instant everything seemed amiss. It was impossible to articulate the inexplicable, to rationalize the moment that had unfolded between Nathan and me. My throat constricted, a palpable tension rising within me as I grappled with the elusive words. I stumbled over my words, uncertain of how to respond. Nathan, perched on the edge of the bed, appeared utterly adrift. His hand moved to the back of his neck, a gesture of embarrassment, as he grappled with the challenge of articulating his thoughts. Victoria's eyes shifted from him to me, and in that moment, an unspoken understanding blossomed between us. In that fleeting instant, it felt as though the entire world had transformed. Victoria sensed that an event had transpired, one that was decidedly out of place, yet her response was far from what I had anticipated. In her eyes, there lingered not anger or disappointment, but a profound and unsettling sadness. She entered the room, gently shutting the door behind her. Her presence was authoritative, and the room descended into an unusual, taut silence, reminiscent of the stillness that precedes a tempest. "Ava, there's something you must grasp." Victoria spoke softly, her tone more tender than I had expected. "There exists a depth to this that transcends your current understanding, a complexity that neither of you fully grasp." Her confusion washed over me, filling my thoughts. What was her intention? What else could there possibly be? The silence hung in the air long after Victoria had departed. Her words lingered in the atmosphere, etching a lasting impression on us both, even amidst the swirling confusion. Her serene comprehension and generous offer of direction bestowed upon me an unforeseen gift. Anticipation. Victoria held no anger, she did not dismiss us. Instead, she offered us an opportunity, one that seemed delicate and ambiguous, yet undeniably present. I cast a fleeting look at Nathan. His expression was a tapestry woven with threads of guilt, confusion, and an elusive emotion that danced just beyond my grasp. He averted my gaze, his hands fidgeting together in a nervous dance. I sensed the burden he carried, the impact of our worlds colliding in an unforeseen moment. Yet, as I pondered further, it became increasingly clear that none of this had been orchestrated by anyone. Events had transpired, slipping through our grasp. One thing was certain: we could not turn a blind eye to it. We could not feign that nothing had transpired. Victoria was indeed correct regarding the emotions and the bewilderment. All matters required attention, and they needed to be confronted directly. "Nathan," I murmured, my voice quivering ever so slightly. "What shall we do next?" Nathan gazed at me, his eyes brimming with a tapestry of emotions. "I'm uncertain. Ava, I'm at a loss for my emotions, uncertain of my thoughts. Uncertainty clouds my emotions. I find myself questioning whether I should embrace anger, succumb to shame, or if I possess the right to feel anything at all." His voice trembled, betraying the turmoil woven into his speech. He found himself caught in the throes of a profound bond we had forged, yet tethered by his unwavering allegiance to Victoria, his wife. The matter at hand could not be resolved in a single dialogue. The situation was far more complex than it appeared. With a steadying breath, I approached him, narrowing the space that lay between us. I felt a strong urge to connect with him, to offer solace, yet uncertainty lingered about whether it was the appropriate course of action. Clarity had slipped through my fingers, leaving me adrift in uncertainty. "I don't believe we can unravel it all at this moment," I murmured gently. "However, I believe it's essential for us to engage in a conversation and share our truths with one another. This matter is far too intricate to overlook." Nathan nodded slowly, his expression grave yet devoid of anger. "Indeed, I'm aware. I'm at a loss for how to begin." I grasped his hand, the contact a blend of solace and unvoiced tension. "Feeling. We begin by acknowledging the events that transpired, the emotions we experienced, and the feelings that linger within us. And then we discern what unfolds next." He offered another nod. His expressions began to soften ever so slightly. "The path ahead won't be simple, Ava. Yet, my desire is to comprehend. I seek to grasp the dynamics unfolding between us." I grasped his hand, the touch a blend of solace and a torrent of unsaid feelings. "All the answers elude me. Nathan, I stand at the precipice of uncertainty, yet I refuse to flee from this moment, not any longer." We lingered in silence for a moment, each of us adrift in our own reflections, seeking to unravel the complexities of all that had transpired. The path ahead was shrouded in uncertainty, devoid of straightforward solutions, tangled in a web of emotions and confusion. The experience was utterly consuming. Yet, what Victoria had extended to us was a beacon of hope, a sanctuary where we could confront our challenges side by side, tackling the chaos that had enveloped us. I cast my gaze upon Nathan once more. In that moment, I sensed that regardless of what lay ahead, we would confront it with unwavering honesty. A flawless solution eluded them, and the path to resolution was anything but straightforward. Yet, amidst the shadows, a glimmer of hope emerged, hope for comprehension and restoration, and perhaps, for something beyond that. As I reclined, my mind surged with a whirlwind of possibilities. Thoughts of Victoria lingered in my mind, her words echoing with a serene clarity. Her calm demeanor and generous offer of understanding had unveiled a door I had been blissfully unaware of. She had not turned us away. Instead, she had not condemned us. She had afforded us the space to inhale, the opportunity to reflect on the events that had unfolded. Yet, what might unfold thereafter? What might transpire if we embraced the profound emotions that linger within us? Shall we press on, or will the burden of it all prove too heavy to bear? However, those inquiries are best saved for a later moment. Only Nathan and I remained, enveloped in the quiet of our mutual doubt. We were acutely aware that nothing would ever return to its former state. Our only course of action was to embrace the next step, whatever it may entail, and in unison, we would unravel the path ahead.